Welcome to TYT Sports. Francis and Jason alongside you once again. We're excited to show you three more tantalizing stories, and we're going to jump right into it because Chris Bosh looks to be back working out, hanging out with Dwayne Wade, who's not on the Heat anymore, but they're, of course, still close friends after you win 2 titles together. Those things don't separate you. But most importantly, it seems like the blood clot issue is resolved, for at least now, because this is something that has come up a couple times. And Chris Bosh looks to be ready to take part in training camp with the Miami Heat starting on September 27th. We have 3 elements for you. We have 2 tweets, one of him getting very excited in the car. Everybody keeps asking if I'm hooping. Yes, I'm hooping. I'm a hooper, Mr. Chris Bosh on Snapchat.
I think he hoops.
He hoops. And because people kept sending him tweets that was really funny. They were saying, do you hoop, Chris Bosh? Are you hooping? And he's like, I'm a hooper. I'm a big hooper. They should actually put him in the commercial. And great workout with the homie Dwayne Wade this morning. Chris Bosh is a 7-foot man.
He is humongous.
Seriously. And also, they lie about Kevin Durant's height because you put Chris Bosh and Kevin Durant next to each other, and they're the same height, as told by Chris Bosh in Bill Simmons' show, where he's like, this man ain't 6'9". He's 7 feet tall. It's amazing. And then lastly, Chris Bosh's video. I mean, the man can shoot. The guy's a hell of a long-range shooter. He's got the 3-point game down. He was even showing it on his workout video most recently. I think he said he called it on a string. Take a look. Francis, the soft spot for the Miami Heat.
It's soft. It's marshmallow soft. It's always going to be that soft.
Chris Bosh returning, if he does play, and there is no health injuries, and we have to take it as is. There's no reoccurring blood clot issue or any other issues that happen. Him alone, alongside that Miami Heat team, is it enough for the playoffs? And are you excited to see Chris Bosh back on the court?
I'm excited to see him back. I'm not convinced that he would be enough to come back. I mean, I think that Chris Bosh is the unsung hero of the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh era. I think there was a lot of times where he was often overlooked, but it's common when you have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade on your team.
Right, that's true. That's a good point.
And Ray Allen coming in to save the day, as he did. Jason, do you remember he saved the day? Do you remember he made the shot that LeBron James made the shot?
You got thank Ray Allen, a bad Thunder team, and
the squeaky floors,
and a Kyrie Irving. That's why LeBron's got 3 rings.
So, but that aside, I think they've got youth in that team that I'm always going to be looking to see come back. I don't need to bring up your favorite player,
Chief of the court of the NBA, Chief Justice Winslow,
and block party Hassan Whiteside. But there's going to be a missing piece watching the Miami Heat without Dwayne Wade. Chris Bosh will have the opportunity now to be that instrumental figure solely on his own. And by that, I don't mean that he's going to be doing the same things that Dwayne Wade did. Dwayne Wade was able to turn the game on his head, driving to the hoop, rolling back the years. Probably the most versatile player on his progression to the hoop and willing to adjust last minute. I've never seen anyone being able to do it as well as he has done, bend that way. Some things he did were just incredible. Chris Bosh, though, you can't put a price on experience. You can't put a price on someone that can still shoot the ball as smooth as he can and still come up as versatile when needed for that team. So they have a lot of youth, as I mentioned, and they have a lot of talent, but you always need to combine that level of experience. You always need those players to help guide the younger minds forward. And he's not going to take the limelight. He's not going to try to take as much possession. He's not going to ask for it every time. That might seem like a little bit of a dig towards Dwayne Wade, but it's not, because I don't think the Heat would even got close to surpassing expectation as they did this year without Dwayne Wade. He was one of the sole reasons why they were able to do that. But Bosh isn't going to go beyond his means. He's not going to go and suddenly start driving to the hoop and try to dunk all over everyone just to try and take Miami Heat to the next level. He will be an experienced player on the court that is needed in amidst that youth.
And one of the things that people do not credit Chris Bosh enough for is he's one of the masters of front court communication. He talks. Actually, if you listen to Coach Nick over at B-Ball Breakdown, one of the things he even says regularly, at least on his Twitter, is I stress communication over leadership. Because if you're all talking, it will lead to winning. You can lead to your goals, lead to getting the ball into the basket, and you do that more times than the other team, guess what? You win the game. For a long time when these health issues came up, blood clots, when doctors were telling him you could die on the court, and it sounds so extreme because it is extreme. You fear for the man's life, and you say to yourself, why would you want to play if that's it? And I realized something. Chris Bosh has known basketball, been great at basketball for his whole life. It's what he knows for, 30 years is the game of basketball. So taking that away from somebody would be like telling you, Francis, that you can't wear bow ties anymore. And the rumor has it that you came out of the womb in a bow tie. So for 25 years, you've known your whole life as bow ties like Chris Bosh knows basketball. You can't take that away from the man.
No.
You can't. And you know what? I understand that. I just pray daily. I'm not even a religious person. I pray daily that those blood clot issues are past him, that he won't die on the court, that no severe health issue will ever come up in a news story says Chris Bosh in severe life-threatening condition.
There's a beautiful point to make, and it was that beautiful that I had to fight the urge to, when you you set it up so perfectly, then I just realized the ball is life. So I had to fight the urge to say that. But it is one of the key components. This is something that transcends across all sports, right? People will criticize, the one sport I see this as prominent in as any other is boxing, right? People will be why don't they just hang up the gloves, man? Why are they putting themselves through this? When you, every single day, every single moment of that day you dedicate to a sport, it's not as easy to just simply go, I'm done. Even Marshawn Lynch, when he's like, boots are hung up, I'm ready to go. I'm sure there's still a part of him, as we've talked about previously, could come back. We don't know yet.
12.
But it's not as easy simply just as quite literally hanging up the boots or the gloves or your shoes, whatever it is.
I guess I wanted to leave it on this. One interesting trade proponent for Chris Bosh that I think would be maybe too good of a narrative.
The bull?
No. It's not a bad one. Not the Bulls.
Oh, it's in a bull.
Just thought maybe, just maybe, let's say things aren't going right for the Heat halfway through and they really need to rebuild. Could the Raptors trade some draft picks and bring Chris Bosh back to Toronto? Which I would immediately then credit the Raptors as being a real contender to take down the Cavs in the Eastern
That'd be the
Conference
real
Finals.
homecoming. The real coming home.
Could you imagine?